Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest, and today I'm checking out from One Size, Patrick Starr's brand, what is this called? Turn Up the Base BBB Cream Beauty Blur Balm Cream Hybrid Foundation. Retails for $33 for 1 ounce or 30 mils of product, 18 different shades. I've got this in the shade Light Neutral. This is described as a hybrid foundation with up to all-day wear that blurs skin, visibly minimizes oil, and boosts hydration. Dry skin girl here. The highlighted ingredients, we've got Japanese white rose stem cells to improve the appearance of skin tone and visibly minimize oil over time. Skin-like treated pigments rapidly blur and feel like skin. Avocado and mango hydra blend boosts hydration for smooth feeling skin. It's vegan. It's cruelty-free. Let's take a look at this one swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from the Patrick Starr One Size brand. Turn Up the Base BBB Beauty Blur Balm Cream in shade Light 3 Neutral. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. Fourth is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in Fair. And last I've got from Misha the Perfect Cover BB Cream in 21. I already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 47-year-old face. I have not primed. I've done all my skincare, moisturizer, sunscreen. This is an interesting package. It appears that we can open it by, oh, I like this, rather than twisting that off. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. All right, you do have to twist off at the top initially to get rid of that seal. Now let's take a look at this. Here we go. I am going to apply with fingertips, though they do say you can apply with sponge or brush as well. They say to work in sections. This does seem pretty thick, so let's just go little by little. I think this might be darker than I intended. I was going for a summer shade, being that time of year, or I'm optimistically hoping it will soon be that time of year, but this is a little dark, I think, for me. Say hello to my little friend. Hello, little friend. That little friend has been there so long, and it won't go away, and it just keeps coming back, and I'll think it's going away, and I'll be like, yes! And then it comes right back. I don't know why. I have a feeling certain things are changing that have to do with menopause. And, because I haven't really started yet, but I've had 3 times in the past, like, 6 months, an incident that I think might be the beginning of hot flashes. I don't know. Just being hot for no reason all of a sudden out of nowhere when you're just sitting still? Is that what that is? I don't know. I don't think I've ever had one before, so this is all new to me. Alright, let's try and bring some of this down here so I don't look weird. Yeah, it's too dark for me, but let's rock and roll with it. Let's see how we're going. The coverage is not bad in terms of, I was expecting, super light, sheer BB cream type of coverage. And side to side, I do think we're getting some really nice redness correction there, which is wonderful. And that was just one quick pass. They say you can build this up, and they do say if you're building it up on textured skin to do so with a damp sponge and press more product into those areas. But I'm not feeling the need to do that. I think the textured side of my face is actually looking fairly smooth. Let's go and finish the other side here. This has sort of a quick powder finish sort of transition to it. It turns into this sort of a smooth powder finish, and it does so quite quickly. It applies like liquid, but I do think that finish transitions quickly. In a good way. In a good way. That is not a complaint. I'm going to use this as concealer as well, just because. I've been doing that lately. I've been able to skip separate concealer ever since I started using that Clarins Total Eye Lift. Oh, it's my holy grail now for my eye area. And it prevents that crepiness from going on. I'm going to get my neck just because I'm going to try to bring some of this down a little bit so the difference in shade is not as obvious. I really like how this is looking on my nose, you guys. It's pretty much a matte finish. Smooth, powder-like. Definitely does blurring. Definitely has some nice coverage right out of the gate. I would call it like a light medium or a high light in terms of, you know, I can only see my worst or darkest sunspots poking through here. The rest are pretty well blurred out and hidden. And texture's blurred. Pores are definitely blurred, and I'm not wearing any primer. So pores are blurring very, very nicely. Let's zoom in and get a look at this one. I think it looks really, really smooth. I've always got a little bit of peeling on my upper lip these days, and it is not really clinging to any of it, maybe just the teeny tiniest bit. It's not clinging to my little friend on my chin there. It is blurring my pores around my cheeks, which is the area of my face where they're the most visible. It is not settling into any pores on my nose, which is often a problem for me. It looks pretty smooth on my nose. It is not settling into my forehead lines. It's really not settling in anywhere, and it does seem to be blurring pretty much both pores and texture. I really like this finish. I wish I would have gotten a slightly lighter shade. I'm usually able to pull off whatever they call light neutrals. Sometimes I go light cool, but in the summer I tend to be more neutral. In the winter I tend to be more cool, but I'm only a tiny bit either way. Like, I'm neutral, bar none. Yeah, light, let me get my shade correct. Light 3 neutral is what I picked. And so I feel like this is more of my self-tanning shade. But my arms do end up getting a little color. They haven't gotten any yet, obviously. But they will eventually, because I'm not as religious with my sunscreen, which is bad. You should always put sunscreen on everywhere, but I'm better at it. I do my face every day, but I don't always remember to do my arms. Anywho, I gotta go put the most super fastest face of makeup on in my life because I gotta get out the door. I'm volunteering at the Wildlife Center today. We are back on campus there, which is so exciting. Haven't been back there since the pandemic. It's our first public events since spring of 2020. So let me go put my face on. I will be right back. And we're back. The formula did start to sort of freeze my under eye lines, so I have tapped it out a few times underneath to try and smooth that back out. We will see how that goes. Otherwise, I very much enjoy the finish of this. Everything applied just fine. I had no blending issues. It feels very nice and soft and lightweight on the skin. It does a good amount of blurring. I like the amount of coverage. It is looking pretty good so far, except that it's pretty dark for me. I feel like I forgot to do some part of my makeup, but I don't think I did. That's what rushing does to me. All right, on the rest of my face. Can't get this palette anymore. It is just my out the door palette. It's the Ulta brand. It was from the Gilmore Girls little collab that they did. Yeah, Lorelai. You're the Lorelai to my Rory. Any taupe will do ya. My blush bronzer, no surprise. Now I've broken them both. My Flower Beauty blush and the Heat Wave bronzer. Both lids have broken off. Little disappointed that the blush broke off because this one hasn't been dropped by the cats. This one, Ziva knocked off the vanity multiple times, and I figured that's why it broke off. This one just broke off when I was using it, so that's kind of a bummer. If the packaging is not like high daily usage quality, that bums me out. Flower Beauty also for my mascara. Lash Warrior, e.l.f. This is their gloss lip stain. I think that's the name of it. This is another one of those products that doesn't have the name on it. Shade is Basic Beige. And yeah, that's where we're starting out. I'm going to go about my day, give some presentations over at the Wildlife Center. I will check in later in outdoor daylight, and I will come back tonight, give you guys my final thoughts. Hey guys, we are about 6 hours in. Had some great programs at the Wildlife Center today. Just got home. Did a little sweating. I was wearing my baseball cap for a little while. I did blow my nose one time, so that's where we're at in terms of potential wear and tear on the makeup. I also was sitting with my hand on my chin on my hand for a while. So there's where we are. There's shade match for, let me try to get the no shadow on there. Yeah, so this one is a bit dark on me, but I think it's holding up okay from what I can see. All right, now I will just spend the rest of the night compulsively running my hands through my hair in fear of having ticks in my hair. Love hanging out in the woods. All right, I'll be back later. We'll check in one more time. 10:09 p.m. That puts us, let's see, I don't think I showed you what time it was when we started. It was like 12:20, 12:30. Math. So what does that mean? 9.5 hours or so? Let's take a look at how the one size from Patrick Starrr held up. Now, let me tell you what I've done today. So I was outside, did some sweating, setting up the event at the Wildlife Center, did a couple of presentations with a microphone headset on and off my head. I was out in the garage just now making bath bombs, so I was wearing an N95 mask to not inhale all the dust particles. And I was wearing my hat backwards while I was driving with the top off on the Jeep. So I've done a lot of sort of abuse to my foundation today, and I think it's still held up pretty well. Now, any dewiness you're seeing right now is actually sweat. It's 80 degrees in the garage, and I'm a little toasty right now. I had to change my clothes. As soon as I get home from hanging out in the woods, I like strip down, tick check. Ticks are like the bane of my existence. They're evil. They're so evil. I've had one tick bite before that was lengthy, and I had to take the drugs to try and not get Lyme disease, and those drugs were not messing around. I don't want to do that again anytime soon. So that's why I'm in different clothing. Tick check. No ticks. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There were some on me in the woods while we were there, but not when I got home. So let's zoom in and get a good look at this one. I would say coverage held up really well. So I'm missing coverage on my chin, but like I said, I was resting my hand on resting my chin on my hand for a while. My blush bronzer highlight has remained very well intact, which is kind of what I'm using to judge how well the product itself just stayed put. My nose actually doesn't look very disturbed either, and that's where my mask was primarily sitting. You know, it's one of those that clamps down on the bridge of your nose. My forehead's a little bit messed up, and I think that's from wearing my hat, but the rest of my forehead looks totally fine. Texture's a little bit more visible, but my guess is that's because I've lost a little bit of the coverage on my face where the mask was, but not bad, and I don't think it transferred a ton anywhere. I've blotted my face, so this is the tissue I just used to blot my face when I came in from the garage, and I was just pressing it to my skin, and there's really not much transfer at all. Now granted, this is the end of the day, so a lot of product is, not a lot of product, but product is gone already, you know, what's left, but you know, I would say it doesn't transfer a whole lot. So like here's the clean side, and it really, even with mildly damp skin, it's really not transferring. So I'm really pleased with how well it has held up to what I've been throwing at it all day. I think the coverage held up really nicely. I think the smoothing and the blurring that they claim is pretty accurate. I really like how the finish looked and how overall smooth everything looked. It was really easy to apply. It gave good coverage at one pass. I didn't have to build anything up. come to think of it, I didn't even go back to build up my blue blood vessel or my sunspots. It covered straight away. So I like that. I'm pretty pleased. Comes in 18 shades. That's a pretty good shade range for a BB cream type of a product, hybrid foundation. I don't know if this falls in the foundation category, the BB cream category. I don't know, but if I had to give a grade to the one size turn up the base beauty balm hybrid foundation, whatever you want to call it, I like it. I'm going to give it an A. I think it's really, really nice. It did not cling to my dry patches, did not cling to my little flaky spot on my upper lip here, did not cling to my little friend down here. I mean, if you got some things going on and it still manages to make everything look better, I think that's a win. I do think that's a win. Super comfortable. My skin does not feel dry in any way, shape, or form. And I think it turned out okay under my eyes. Little bit of visibility of lines, so it's really not made to do that kind of smoothing over on the under eye because it's really not a concealer. But I'd still use it as one because I think it did the job just well enough. Going A. I wasn't going to try this, but several of you were asking about it, and so I added it to my cart, and I picked it up, and I appreciate you for encouraging me to try this one, because I really wasn't interested in getting into another brand and another celebrity brand at that, but I like it. I like it a lot. There you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, if you want me to keep doing them, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos. Well, it's been once a week on Fridays lately, so that's going to be the plan for a little while. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.